Hey everybody, welcome to Average Guy Opinions. I'm your average guy, John Corelli. I have a new phone, and that's why it took me a minute to realize that for video, um, the counter starts somewhere else, starts on the top of my phone instead of the bottom. So I'm looking for it going, where's the counter to show me that I'm starting a video? Man, there's a lot to talk about. I haven't been on here in months. I've been extremely busy. I have taken a new job at my school. I started just for a quick synopsis of my employment life. I started this job. I was a paraprofessional for 8 years with kids with special needs, mostly kids with autism. And then I moved to this school about a year and a half ago, nearly 2 years. Yeah, a year and a half ago. I started in the 2023-2024 school year. I worked with the kids once again in the autism spectral disorder, the ASD room. And then this year, back in July, August, I applied for the art teaching job, which is great, but I have to go to school for it, and which is also okay. It's kind of been invigorating actually to go back to school at age 56. Now I'm 57, and try to stretch your brain out a little bit. The It's for licensure. It's called the ALP, which stands for the Alternative Licensure Program. And if I did this in my last video, I apologize, but I know not all of this was talked about last time because I've run into some speed bumps. This will also turn into a rant about our current regime, so just so you know where I'm headed. Um, but yeah, I have to. It's basically, I call it a master's light. I have to do a lot of master's level work, but it's not quite the workload that the master's people do. So it's an alternative license. I'm allowed to teach while I get the license. The Colorado Department of Education funds my classes as long as I pass them. But now I've just run into another speed bump where I have to do something that I didn't realize I had to do, which is I have to write and conduct IEPs for 4 kids. IEPs are individualized education programs for special needs kids, and and by the way, my school is a school. All of our kids are considered special needs, even if they're not what we think typically special needs are, like autism, Down syndrome. These are kids with severe emotional disabilities. So my school is very specialized. There are locks on every door. It's a little crazy in there. Kids are kids will just not, they'll just refuse to do anything they're supposed to do. And a lot of them are headed to a bad place. You know, if we're being realists, some of these kids, if they fail at my school, they will not move. They'll probably end up on the streets or being criminals or both. The kids that succeed in our school will move on, hopefully, to a typical school where they will hopefully have a chance of success there. So that's my role. My role is the art teacher. At age 57, I wanted to be the art teacher. I didn't want to try academics. It's pretty easy. I mean, it's not perfect to be the art teacher in there. It's not always easy. There are a lot of kids with a lot of behavior issues. I had a girl just come up to me and smear paint on my face. Yes, excuse me. Today's Sunday. This is Friday, and a lot of disrespect, a lot of curse words, a lot of N words. An amazing amount of N words from these white kids that I tell them sometimes, hey, try that at the school I used to go to, Overland High School, which was a third black. Give that a shot there, see how it works out for you. That's why I've told one or two. I don't tell too many because there's not much you can do about it. It's like fighting the Vietnam War. You have the tools, which is maybe a good rap in the mouth, which is something you could do in the 70s when I was growing up. You couldn't rap us in the mouth, but my principal had a paddle and threatened us with it when we were being ridiculous. And sometimes I wish that's something we could do, or at least take their phones away. I mean, we can't even technically take their phones away. They can hang on to it and be on their phones all day. And if we kindly ask them to give them up, they tell us to fuck ourselves, and we got to try to teach them while they got a phone in their hand. What chance do we have? Luckily, like I say, I'm in art. Luckily for me, I'm in art, and the art at least is interesting enough to pull them away from their phones. It's crazy, but so back to my speed bump that I have to do. I was telling you guys that I have to do an IEP, which is an individualized education program. I repeat that, but all of our kids have them, but I'm supposed to write one and conduct one and have 5 kids on my caseload. And I kind of forgot all about that because between teaching the classes, building a curriculum, being responsible for all this shit, and then having to also go to school, carrying a 95 average, and dealing with all that stuff, I also now, apparently, I forgot about these IEPs. So now I'm in a place where am I going to continue for my sped license, or maybe I need to drop down to just an art license, which makes me not as viable in the rest of the building, which is something they want. My principal just told me 2 days ago she wants me to be. We're making there's so much. There's so much. I may have to just babble about this for 10 minutes and then go on to Trump. No, actually, let's just jump on Trump here because you guys are tired of me whining about my lot in life. But uh, suffice it to say, I've been super busy, and my father is continuing to die, and he refuses to. Just an update on that. Uh, he was given till the end of the year last year by his doctor. Here he is in March of 2025, and he's still alive. He is suffering. He is miserable, but he just clings on because I guess that's natural, right? I guess we all have a natural instinct to survive, no matter how much the rest of our brain is telling us, what do you got to look forward to? There's nothing. There's nothing. When he's not in pain, he's complaining about the world. Um, I helped him yesterday. Yesterday I was there about 3.5 hours. Um, he's emaciated. He's just this isn't a. I'm not trying to make light of his situation, but he has no ass left. He really just doesn't. I mean, because there's no muscle. There's just very little left there. He can walk. He can get shuffle his way from his bed to his bathroom, from the bathroom to the kitchen. These 10-foot triangles are sides of a triangle in which he exists. But he had really bad diarrhea yesterday, and he refuses or can't. And I tried to help him, so it's more refuses to wear underwear. He has a shirt on and nothing else, like Donald Duck or Winnie the Pooh. And I know that's, like I said, I try not to make too much light of this because I know he's suffering, he's dying. But when you're there 3.5 hours sitting there in what is just a stinky small room or a set of rooms, sometimes you gotta try to make yourself laugh a little bit, right? But so he's got tissues shoved up his ass. Like I said, he has barely any ass to hold the tissues in. It's just skin and a tiny bit of muscle and bones. And he's walking around and it's dripping out, and I'm cleaning up after him. But this is the part where he's a psycho, okay? And I've talked about him in the past. Um, Instead of flushing these diarrhea-soaked pieces of tissue in the toilet, he puts them in a plastic bag and saves them. And I don't even question it anymore. It's Howard Hughes type of crazy shit. But I'm just like, all right. And I help him. I wash my hands constantly. And we got through the day. Luckily at the end of the day, he did text me and told me, I finally am not, because apparently it was constipation. It's the worst thing ever. It really sounds bad. He was constipated, yet he had diarrhea. I was like, oh man, that's awful. He's like, no, I know there's stuff up there that needs to come out, and it's not coming out. And that's tough for him too. And that's why I really do feel sorry for him, because his memory's bad and his attitude's shitty, but he is still functional. His mind is generally there. And that's gotta suck, right? And that's where maybe dementia's not such a bad thing if you don't see your body falling apart and feel it falling apart and are somewhat embarrassed on a level, right? It's just, so that was rough. But that's just to explain part of what I'm going through. I know this isn't all about me. This will be an all about me 10 minutes apparently, because I'm closing in on it already. But yeah, so I've been super busy. That's why I haven't been making videos. I've been doing comedy when I can. I've been writing comedy when I can. I've been working on a screenplay when I can. I mean, my whole life is when I can. It's not choosing to do stuff, man. I've got my kid who I'm putting through college, which is part of the reason I took the teaching job, because it pays a lot more than paraprofessional work did. So I'm trying to get Logan through college. Logan's got about a year and a half, 20 months, something like that left. And we're paying as we go, and that's not cheap. And so that's a big thing I really am priding myself on and working my ass off to get through that. These next 2 years will be difficult between work, school for work, getting my kid through school, and also with my 27-year-old who actually does great. I got no complaints, but Dante just got a job, so that's something nice. How about we end on that? Dante got a job at Walgreens. It's only a few hours a week. He has special needs, as many of you know. If you don't know that, he has pretty he's about, I would say he's a mid-range autism kid. He's practically nonverbal, but he's smart generally, and he knows what to do, and he's great at following rules, and he's a great kid. And started at Walgreens on Friday, so that was nice, and he seems to like it, and they seem to like him. And so I'll end on that. I'll end on a high note, because my next video should it go through and get on my computer or any of this stuff even work, will be a rant about Trump. Okay, thanks, guys. It's good to be back. I'll try to do these more often, but I've often promised that in the past, and it just is what it is. Life is busy. I know you're all busy. I know we're all working our asses off to be the best we can be, except for the guy I'm about to talk about in the next video. All right, thanks, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.